Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be continuing the journey with you and talking about support. This week, you're going to get really clear about what does support look like for you and what support it is that you specifically need. And what I know to be true from my own journey and also from watching my clients and all women really is that when a woman has support in her life, no matter what form that takes, it is the accelerated path to massive success. So identifying what kind of support it is that you need in your life and who is in your life or what things are in your life that ultimately support you to be the absolute best version of yourself. That looks like friends, family, team, coworkers, colleagues, mastermind partners, and then also there are the things in your life that support you to really show up to be your most excellent self. How are you eating? What are you putting in your body? Are you getting regular self-care in? Are you having time with God? All of these things are going to be the supporting factors that lend themselves to you getting to more and more happiness and fulfillment and healthiness and success faster or slower depending upon what you bring in for you and when you bring it in. We're always surrounded by people and things and circumstances, and when those people, things, and circumstances are not lending themselves to our true authentic happiness and success, it detracts from our ability to be who we are as women. I have found that one of the fastest ways for a woman to get off track is to not feel supported as a woman in her business, in her life experiences, in what's going on. We can feel supported by money or we cannot feel supported by money. So there's a lot of different components that are going on. When a woman feels supported, her whole entire feminine spirit opens up. It's really such a beautiful thing. So having the pieces and the people and the circumstances and all of these things in place for you ahead of time is what's going to have you on your fastest path to your greatest success. When I first started my business a long time ago and I barely had 2 dimes to rub together, I was looking at what support I could bring in. So identifying what the support is that you need is really critical. When I first started my business, and I barely had 2 dimes to rub together, I chose to ask our babysitter to come on board and help me out for just 1 hour a week for $10. And I had her helping me with laundry or helping with vacuuming. And in that experience, my whole world changed. I identified something that I didn't even know was a huge need and desire, and had me feeling so incredibly supported that after she did that the first time, I felt like she had paid me $1 million. It was one of the best investments that I ever took. And I have continued to begin to delegate smartly as much as I can, as quickly as I can, based upon the resources and the pace that I'm going at and all of those sorts of things. And so there's different kinds of support that you can have. There's obviously paid support, and then there is support that you might receive from your family or your friends or your colleagues or your mastermind partners and accountability buddies, or from a community or a program like this. So I want you to begin to identify what I call your power posse. Who is it that you can write their name down on an index card, because it's really important to write things down, and you could call them at any time for any reason and know that they would not judge you, that they would support you, that they would be there for you. When I first started my business, in addition to having this person come once per week for an hour, I also had a false belief running inside of my head. There was a thought that there was no one there for me, that no one was there to support me. And so I began to create what I call my power posse, and I had to write it on an index card. It's still in my desk today, even though I don't refer to it anymore. And every time my mind would be like, there's a big problem and I don't have anyone to go to outside of my mentor at the time, then I would be able to pull this index card out and prove to myself that that was not true. So I was able to reprogram that belief that I didn't have support. And I began adding more and more people's names to the list. So I began to create a power posse of women that I could go to when I wanted to share a dream or a vision or cry or vent about something. And that is a really important support structure to have in place for yourself as well. When you're identifying these people, you want to know that they are people that you can go to and feel safe, that they will honor a space of sacredness for you, that if you go to them and you share anything and everything, that they will keep it confidential, that they will honor you, that they will love you, that they will also perhaps be honest with you and return you to a truth that you may need to recognize, or that you need to step up in a particular area of your life or what have you. So that is a critical component. And then you'll also want to begin identifying the support people that you need to have in your life for you to be your best self and show up the best way in your business and in your life. And this might be different at different times. So what is it for you on a regular basis? What are the tools that are going to support you? I'll give you some examples. So I have a personal assistant, and when I travel, she prints out a travel checklist and she writes out what the weather is going to be, where I'm going, so that when I'm packing, I know exactly what I need to pack and for what climate and that sort of thing. Depending upon what you have going on in your life or in your business, you need to begin to gauge what kind of support you might need. For example, if I'm traveling or if I have a workshop or a retreat that I'm doing, I know that I'm going to need extra body care appointments like massages and acupuncture and energy healing. If I'm doing a big project in my business, then I know that I need to also have the right support people. So when I'm putting together workshops or workbooks or videos, even having the right people in place for me to just be able to show up and be the woman that I need to be for that particular event or that workshop or that workbook or that video or whatever it is, I need to get those things set in place ahead of time. And I also need to set an expectation for the people that I'm enlisting to support me, whether that's friends, family, mastermind partners, apprentices, paid people, personal assistants, whomever it is that's going to be involved with whatever it is that you're going to be doing, if it's a bigger energy kind of thing or a project or what have you, it's very important for you to set the expectation ahead of time. That way, when you're in it, you're not dealing with people who are disappointed because you said you needed some space or you needed to not have their help or whatever it is that you need when you're not quite sure about how it's going to go. Let's say it's your first workshop ever or your first webinar ever or your first speaking presentation ever. Whatever it is for you, if you are embarking on it for the first time ever, you might not know, and there's going to be learning along the way. So again, don't make yourself wrong, but allow yourself the opportunity to see, this really supported me, or this didn't support me, or I really needed this, or I really needed a break or a day in between, or I needed extra coaching. When my apprentices were here and we were first beginning to talk about the School of Feminine Fortune, I had a coaching session with my coach every morning, 6 days in a row, because I'm so self-aware. I knew that that was exactly what I needed to get through that time where I was going through some of my own transformation in a good way and stepping up further as a leader and also holding an energetic space for the 7 apprentices that I first brought on in my company. And so the more that you know yourself and the more that you kind of walk around in life with this awareness around what felt great to me, what didn't feel great to me, what helped me to be a more powerful woman, what detracted from me being my best self, then you're able to pinpoint exactly in those moments what it is so that you can begin to predict going forward how would you be supported? When I travel, I do a lot of body work before I travel and after I travel. And then when I go into big projects in my company, such as shooting video for several days in a row, I also bring in those same elements of getting the body work that I need and drinking a lot of water and getting adequate sleep and telling the people around me what I need from them in order for me to show up and be my best and brightest self in service to all of you.